It seems like a while ago because it was over 5 years ago.
Oh my God.
Todd McFarlane came out and announced to the world, we're making a new live action Spawn movie. I'm writing and directing it. Book it. It's going into production. That was 5 years ago. That was 2018 that he said that. And here we are 5 years later, and apparently not really any closer. And along the ways, we had a lot of announcements. I almost said Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Foxx was announced that he was going to be the star in it. I think Hawkeye, why am I freezing on Hawkeye's name? Jeremy Renner. I believe at some point got announced that he was going to be one of the, now that was years ago. I don't know whether that's going to still be a piece of the puzzle. He announced that Blumhouse was going to be the production company behind it, which was very exciting. And then a lot of complaining, disillusionment coming from Todd McFarlane saying, I don't understand why these companies don't want to finance my script because you're not a script writer. Anyway, so 5 years later, but now the biggest sign of life we've had in a potential Spawn project in, 5 years, as Jason Blum himself, head of Blumhouse, has come out and made a statement about it. This comes from the folks over at Variety who said the following. Jason Blum is bringing the Blumhouse edge to the upcoming Spawn film adaptation. During a press line for Blumhouse at New York Comic Con 2023, per Screen Rant, Blum teased that Spawn movie is currently in development at his production company. It's going to be edgy and original as compared to other superhero movies, he said. It's going to definitely feel like the Blumhouse version of a superhero movie. Now, that is actually really good to hear, because I think a lot of people who would be looking forward to a Spawn movie, and I don't know if there are a ton of them anymore, but those who are, what they want to hear is that it's going to kind of feel true to Spawn. And let's face it, if any production company is going to do Spawn, I can only think of two that could possibly do it right. Not that they're going to do it right, but could possibly. One is Blumhouse, and what is James Wan's production company?
Atomic Monster.
Atomic Monster. Those, I think, are the only two real companies that I think could maybe do a Spawn justice. They can't let Todd McFarlane direct it. I think they're still holding on to that, but I don't think they can let him direct it. But regardless, and he's saying, look, if you take what comic book movies are right now, ours is going to be edgy compared to those. And ours is going to feel original compared to those. And it's definitely going to be a Blumhouse version, which means they're going to lean heavily into the horror aspects of this. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, MasterClass. Guys, as a small business owner, I am finding myself having to be in negotiations all the time, whether it's with new contractors, vendors, or even agencies that represent our company. Now, I don't like to go into these negotiations unarmed, so I found the perfect class on MasterClass, The Art of Negotiation by Chris Voss, a real-life former FBI lead hostage negotiator. Taking this class on MasterClass made me feel a lot more equipped and confident going into all these various negotiations I have to do on a regular basis. With MasterClass, you can learn from the best to become your best anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. An annual membership starts at just $10 a month, and you get unlimited access to every instructor, thousands of online lessons, exclusive content, insight, and much more. There are over 180 classes to pick from, everything from filmmaking with Martin Scorsese all the way to cooking with the great Gordon Ramsay. In MasterClass, you will find practical lessons that you can apply to your life and work. So guys, get unlimited access to every class, and right now, as a John Campea Show listener, you can get 15% off when you go to masterclass.com/Campea. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off an annual membership. Masterclass.com/Campea. Rob, these are all the right things to say. These are all the things I want to hear as somebody who has some mild interest in seeing this. Mm-hmm. I still don't believe this movie's going to happen. I mean, I kind of want it to, especially with Blumhouse behind it, but I don't know. Does these comments by Jason Blum give you more excitement or even hope that this movie's going to happen?
Look, I'm a Jason Blum fan. I like what Blumhouse has done. When Lee Whannell does something like The Invisible Man for $8 million and it makes $100 million, I'm like, you go, Jason Blum, you go, Lee Whannell. M. Night, the Sham Hammer, got to come back and make his films like Split and then Glass over at Blumhouse. Great. I love what he said about Spawn. I'd love to see a stripped down. The thing is, the character to portray him the way he's portrayed in the comics, coming up from hell and having the cape move the way, it's going to be not an inexpensive movie. And I don't know if, like you said, if they can get it made, if they can pull it off. If Jason Blum, if he said, we're going to make an Exorcist movie the way the Blumhouse would make an Exorcist movie, I would say, great. But then I saw their Exorcist movie. And I want to stick my head in the ocean and never pull it back out of the water. But I don't know what that was supposed to be, but it wasn't very good enough.
Yeah, well, no, it didn't sound fun.
It wasn't. But I look, I think the first Spawn movie, John, is uniquely terrible in about 10 different ways.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a perfect example of they couldn't figure out the tone. What is this movie supposed to be? The tone was all over the place, and I liked the character. But if they made the Spawn movie and the tone of it was more like The Crow, I think it could work. But you'd need a really strong director, and Todd McFarlane's supposed to direct it, isn't he?
He right from day one, he announced that he was going to write it and direct it. Who has never written or directed a major motion
Frank
picture
Miller.
before.
I love Frank Miller, but when he directed The Spirit,
that's the perfect example, actually, is The Spirit and what happened there. I think it's a big, giant mistake. Look, and a lot of people say, well, nobody knows Spawn better than Todd McFarlane. True, but that doesn't mean he knows how to make a movie.
Right.
So, I get somebody else in to direct, get somebody maybe somebody else that Blumhouse has worked with before. I mean, they've put out some really good ones. They put out some bad ones, but they put out some good ones. So let's see what'll happen there. But again, at the end of the day, I don't even think this movie's going to happen, but I believe it a little bit more today than I did yesterday. So we'll see. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.